The alarm bells rang loud across the medical station. Harmony Point, red lights flashed in every hallway as the emergency signal echoed through the metal corridors. Dr. Zethra dropped her medical scanner and rushed toward the command center. Her 6 legs moved quickly across the smooth floor while her antenna twitched with worry. "What is the emergency?" she asked as she entered the control room. Her voice made a clicking sound that all Kithrin people had when they spoke. Lieutenant Korg, a short green alien with big eyes, turned toward her. "We got a distress call from the research ship Aurora. They crashed on planet Kepler 442b3. Hours ago." Dr. Zethra felt her heart sink. Kepler 442b was known as one of the most dangerous planets in this part of the galaxy. The planet had thick forests and many deadly creatures. Most ships avoided going there. "How many survivors?" she asked. 12 people from different species. They are trapped inside their ship. The crash damaged their engines and they cannot take off. Dr. Velenok entered the room at that moment. He was Dr. Zethra's assistant and came from the water world of Aquarior. His blue skin was wet as always, and his tentacles moved nervously around his head. "Doctor, I heard the alarm. What can I do to help?" he asked. "Get the medical shuttle ready. We need to go to Kepler 442b right now," Dr. Zethra told him. "Bring all the emergency supplies we have." Dr. Velenok nodded and hurried away to prepare. The shuttle. Dr. Zethra looked at the star map on the big screen. The red dot showed where the Aurora had crashed. It was in the middle of a thick forest area. "Do we know what kind of creatures are near the crash site?" she asked Lieutenant Korg. The small alien checked his computer. The scans show many large life forms around the ship. They appear to be shadow maws. Dr. Zethra felt cold fear run through her body. Shadow maws were some of the most dangerous creatures in the known galaxy. They were 12 feet tall with sharp claws and teeth. Their skin was black with glowing marks that could change color. Every report about them said they were deadly killers that attacked without warning. "Are you sure?" she asked, hoping she heard wrong. "Yes, doctor. The scans show at least 6 of them around the crashed ship. Maybe more in the forest." Dr. Zethra touched her communication device. "This is Chief Medical Officer Zethra to command. We have a serious problem. The survivors are surrounded by shadow maws. We may need military help." The voice of Commander Hayes came through the speaker. "Medical team, you are ordered to attempt rescue. Military ships are too far away. You are the only help those people have right now." Dr. Zethra closed her eyes. She had been a doctor for 20 years, but she had never faced anything like this. Her medical training had taught her to save lives, but how could she save anyone from creatures that killed everything they saw? Dr. Velenok returned to the control room. "The shuttle is ready, doctor." I loaded all the medical supplies and emergency equipment. "Good," Dr. Zethra said. "We leave now." The 2 doctors walked quickly to the shuttle bay. Their medical shuttle was small but fast. It had red crosses painted on the sides to show it was for helping people, not fighting. Dr. Zethra hoped the shadow maws would understand that symbol, but she knew they probably would not dot as they flew toward Kepler 442b. Dr. Zethra read the files about the Aurora's crew. Most were scientists studying the planet's plants and animals. There was also a human on board named Dr. Jake Morrison. His job was listed as veterinarian and xenobiology consultant. "What does a veterinarian do?" Dr. Velenok asked when she mentioned it. "They are doctors for animals," Dr. Zethra explained. "Humans keep many animals as pets and for work. Veterinarians help sick animals get better." "That seems like a strange job," Dr. Velenok said. "Why would someone become a doctor for animals instead of people?" Dr. Zethra did not answer. She was thinking about something else. In all her years as a doctor, she had only treated people, not animals. She wondered if this human doctor might know something about dangerous creatures that she did not. The shuttle entered the atmosphere of Kepler 442b. Through the window, they could see thick green forests covering most of the planet. The trees were huge and grew close together. It looked like a place where many dangerous things could hide. I am getting the location of the crash site, Dr. Velenok said as he looked at his instruments. It is 2 miles ahead in a clearing. As they flew closer, Dr. Zethra could see the aurora. The research ship was broken in the middle and tilted to one side. Black smoke came from one end. Around the ship, she could see large dark shapes moving between the trees. There they are, Dr. Velenok whispered. The shadow maws. Dr. Zethra counted 6 of the creatures that she could see. They were even bigger than she had imagined. Their black skins seemed to absorb light, making them hard to see clearly. The glowing marks on their bodies pulsed with different colors, red, blue, and green. Land the shuttle as far from them as possible, she told Dr. Velenok. The shuttle touched. Down about 300 feet from the crashed ship, through the window, Dr. Zethra could see the shadow maws turn toward their shuttle. Their large heads moved as they looked at the new arrival. They know we are here, Dr. Velenok said. His tentacles were shaking with fear. Dr. Zethra opened a communication channel to the Aurora. This is Dr. Zethra from Medical Station Harmony Point. Can anyone hear me? A human voice answered. This is Dr. Jake Morrison. Thank goodness you are here. We have been trapped for hours. Dr. Morrison. This is very dangerous. There are shadow maws all around your ship. We cannot get close to you. I know, the human said. But I have been watching them. Something is strange about their behavior. What do you mean? Dr. Zethra asked. They are not acting like the reports say they should. They are not trying to break into our ship. They are just watching us. Dr. Zethra looked through her binoculars at the creatures. It was true that they were not attacking the ship. They were walking around it slowly, but they were not trying to get inside. Dr. Morrison, shadow maws are known to be extremely dangerous. They kill anything that enters their territory. You must stay inside your ship until we can think of a way to scare them away. Doctor, I am a veterinarian. I have worked with dangerous animals my whole life. These creatures are not acting like predators. They are acting like something else. What do you mean? They are acting like they are afraid, Dr. Zethra almost laughed. Afraid? These are apex predators. They are the most dangerous creatures on this planet. What could they be afraid of? I do not know yet, Dr. Morrison said, but I am going to find out. Dr. Morrison, you must not leave your ship. It is too dangerous. But there was no answer. Dr. Zethra looked through her binoculars again. She could see a door opening on the side of the crashed ship. A figure in a white spacesuit was stepping outside. He is coming out, Dr. Velenok said with horror. The human is walking toward the shadow maws. Dr. Zethra watched as Dr. Morrison moved slowly toward the nearest creature. The shadow maw turned its large head toward him. Its glowing marks began to pulse faster. This is madness, Dr. Zethra whispered. He's going to get himself killed. Dr. Zethra watched through her binoculars as Dr. Morrison took another step toward the massive shadow maw. The creature's glowing marks pulsed brighter, changing from blue to yellow. Every muscle in Dr. Zethra's body told her to run, but she could not look away. He is going to die, Dr. Velenok whispered. His tentacles were wrapped tightly around his head in fear. The shadow maw was now only 20 feet from Dr. Morrison. The creature stood 12 feet tall, its black skin rippling with muscle. Its claws were as long as a person's arm, and its teeth gleamed white in the dim light of the forest. But something strange happened. Instead of attacking, the shadow maw took a step backward. Did you see that? Dr. Morrison's voice came through the communication device. It backed away from me. Dr. Zethra adjusted her binoculars to get a better look. The human was right. The shadow maw had moved away from him, not toward him. Dr. Morrison, please return to your ship immediately, Dr. Zethra said. You are in extreme danger. Wait, Dr. Morrison said. Let me try something. The human stopped walking forward. Instead, he sat down on the ground. He made himself as small as possible, pulling his knees up to his chest. The shadow maw tilted its huge head to one side. Its glowing marks changed from yellow to a soft green color. Interesting, Dr. Morrison said quietly. When I made myself smaller, its color changed. The green seems to be a calmer color. Dr. Morrison, what are you doing? Dr. Zethra asked. I am reading its body language, the human replied. Every animal has ways of showing how it feels. This creature is not acting like a predator hunting for food. Dr. Zethra looked at the other shadow moths around the ship. Now that she was watching carefully, she could see that Dr. Morrison was right. The creatures were not prowling or circling like hunters. They were standing in a defensive circle, facing outward. Dr. Morrison, explain what you mean, she said. When a predator hunts, it moves in a certain way. It keeps its head low and forward. It moves slowly and quietly. It tries to get close to its prey without being seen. Dr. Morrison's voice was calm and steady. These creatures are doing the opposite. They are standing tall. They are making themselves visible. They are not trying to hide. Dr. Zethra looked again. The human was right. The shadow moths were standing upright with their heads held high. They were not trying to sneak up on anything. But why are they here? Dr. Velenok asked. If they are not hunting, why are they surrounding the ship? I think they are protecting something, Dr. Morrison said. Look at how they are positioned. They are not facing the ship. They are facing away from it, toward the forest. Dr. Zethra studied the creatures' positions. Dr. Morrison was correct again. The shadow moths were arranged in a circle, but they were looking outward, not inward at the crashed ship. What are they protecting? She asked. I am not sure yet, Dr. Morrison said, but I think I know how to find out. The human slowly stood up from his sitting position. The nearest shadow moth watched him carefully, but it did not move closer or farther away. Dr. Morrison began to walk very slowly to his left, moving parallel to the creature instead of toward it. The shadow moth turned its head to follow his movement, but its feet stayed in the same place. It did not leave its position in the defensive circle. It will not abandon its post, Dr. Morrison observed. It is definitely guarding something. Dr. Morrison continued his slow walk around the edge of the circle. As he moved, Dr. Zethra could see him looking toward the center of the area the shadow moths were protecting. I see movement in the bush, Dr. Morrison said quietly. Small movement. I think there might be young ones hiding there. Young ones? Dr. Zethra asked. Baby shadow moths, Dr. Morrison explained. That would explain everything. These adults are not trying to hunt us. They are trying to protect their children. Dr. Zethra felt her understanding of the situation change completely. In all the reports she had read about shadow moths, no one had ever mentioned that they might be protective parents. Dr. Morrison, if that is true, then we need to be even more careful, she said. Parents protecting their young can be more dangerous than hunters. Yes, but they can also be reasoned with, Dr. Morrison said. A hungry predator will attack anything. A protective parent only attacks threats to their children. Dr. Morrison stopped walking and sat down again. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small device. Dr. Zethra recognized it as a standard emergency light that all crew members carried. What are you doing now? Dr. Velenok asked nervously. I am going to try to communicate with them, Doctor. Morrison said. He turned on the light and held it up. The small beam was much dimmer than the shadow moth's glowing marks, but it was clearly visible in the forest shadows. Dr. Morrison began to make the light blink in a simple pattern. On, off, on, off, on, off. The nearest shadow moth watched the blinking light for several seconds. Then something amazing happened. The creature's glowing marks began to pulse in the same pattern. On, off, on, off, on, off. It is copying you, Dr. Zethra said in amazement. Yes, Dr. Morrison said. This proves they are intelligent. They are not just mindless predators. Dr. Morrison tried a different pattern with his light. 2 quick blinks, then a pause, then 2 more quick blinks. The shadow moth watched for a moment, then made its marks pulse in the same pattern. This is incredible, Dr. Velenok said. No one has ever communicated with a shadow moth before. That is because no one has ever tried, Dr. Morrison said. Everyone was too afraid to get close enough. Dr. Morrison stood up slowly. The shadow moth watched him, but did not move. The human took a small step forward. The creature's marks changed from green to yellow, which seemed to be a warning color. "It is telling me not to come closer," Dr. Morrison said. "It is not attacking me, it is just setting a boundary." Dr. Morrison took a step backward. The Shadow Maw's marks returned to green. "Dr. Morrison, this is fascinating, but we still need to rescue the survivors," Dr. Zethra reminded him. "I know," the human said. "Let me try something else." Dr. Morrison pointed toward the crashed ship with his light. Then he made the light pulse in a questioning pattern, short, short, long, long, short. The Shadow Maw looked at the ship, then back at Dr. Morrison. Its marks pulsed in a different pattern, long, short, long. "I think that might mean no, Doctor." Morrison said, "It does not want us to go to the ship." "But why?" Dr. Zethra asked. "The ship is not near their young?" Dr. Morrison thought for a moment. "Maybe they think the ship is dangerous. It is smoking and making noise. They might think it could hurt their babies. So they are keeping everyone away from it to protect their young?" Dr. Velenok asked. "That makes sense," Dr. Morrison said. "To them, we are all just unknown creatures near their children. They are doing what any good parent would do." Dr. Morrison tried a new approach. He used his light to point to himself, then to the ship, then back to himself. He was trying to show that he wanted to help the people inside. The Shadow Maw watched his movements carefully. It seemed to be thinking about what Dr. Morrison was trying to say inside the Aurora. Other voices came through the communication device. Dr. Zethra could hear Lisa Martinez, the ship's geologist, and Pete Collins, the engineer, talking to Dr. Morrison. "Jake, what is happening out there?" Lisa asked. "Are the creatures going to attack?" "No," Dr. Morrison replied. "They are not aggressive. They are just confused and scared. They think we might hurt their babies." "Babies?" Pete said. "These things have babies?" "All animals have babies, Doctor," Morrison explained. "Even the scariest predators are just parents trying to protect their families." Dr. Zethra listened to this conversation with growing amazement. In all her years as a doctor, she had never thought about dangerous creatures as parents. She had only thought about them as threats to be avoided. "Dr. Morrison, do you think you can convince them to let us rescue the survivors?" she asked. "I think so," the human said. "But we need to show them that we are not a threat to their young. We need to prove that we just want to help our own people and then leave." Dr. Morrison began a new series of light patterns, trying to communicate more complex ideas to the Shadow Maw. The creature continued to respond, its glowing marks pulsing in what seemed like a conversation. "This is going to take time," Dr. Morrison said. "But I think we can make them understand." Dr. Zethra looked at her assistant. Dr. Velenok was staring at the scene with wide eyes. Like her, he was seeing something that no one in the galaxy had ever seen before, a peaceful conversation between a human and one of the most feared predators in known space. "Dr. Morrison," Dr. Zethra said, "if you can really communicate with them, you might be making history right now." "I am not trying to make history," the human replied. "I am just trying to save lives, both theirs and ours." Dr. Morrison continued his light conversation with the Shadow Maw for another 10 minutes. The creature seemed to be learning his patterns faster now. When he flashed his light twice, it would respond with 2 pulses. When he made 3 quick flashes, it would copy that too. "I think it is starting to trust me," Dr. Morrison said through the communication device. "Its color has changed from yellow to a soft blue. That seems to be a relaxed color." Dr. Zethra watched through her binoculars as Dr. Morrison tried something new. He pointed his light toward the crashed ship, then toward himself, then toward the ship again. He was trying to show that he needed to go to the ship. The Shadow Maw's marks flashed red for a moment. It made a low rumbling sound that Dr. Zethra could hear even from inside the shuttle. "That is a no," Dr. Morrison said. "It still does not want me to go to the ship." "Dr. Morrison, maybe you should try showing it that there are hurt people inside," Dr. Zethra suggested. "Good idea." The human replied. Dr. Morrison lay down on the ground and pretended to be injured. He made his body look weak and held his arm as if it was hurt. Then he pointed toward the ship with his light. The shadow maw tilted its head and watched him carefully. Its glowing marks changed to a softer green color. "I think it understands that someone is hurt," Dr. Morrison said, "but it still looks worried." From inside the Aurora, Lisa Martinez's voice came through the speaker. "Jake, there are more creatures moving in the forest. I can see them through the window." Dr. Morrison looked around. Dr. Zethra could see movement in the thick trees too. More shadow maws were coming out of the forest, but they were smaller than the adults. "Those are the young ones," Dr. Morrison said with excitement. "The babies are coming out to see what is happening." Dr. Zethra counted 6 young shadow maws. They were about half the size of the adults, maybe 6 feet tall. Their glowing marks were brighter and changed colors more quickly. They stayed close to the trees, ready to run if needed. "The adults let their children come out," Dr. Morrison observed. "That means they are starting to trust that we are not dangerous." One of the young shadow maws was braver than the others. It walked closer to Dr. Morrison, stopping about 30 feet away. Its marks were flashing in quick, curious patterns. "Dr. Morrison, be very careful," Dr. Zethra warned. "Young animals can be unpredictable." "I know," the human said, "but look at its body language. It is not afraid, it is curious." Dr. Morrison slowly held up his light and made it flash in a simple pattern. The young shadow maw immediately copied the pattern with its own glowing marks. Then it tried a different pattern on its own. "It wants to play," Dr. Morrison said with wonder. "It is treating this like a game." Dr. Morrison copied the young creature's pattern. The baby shadow maw made excited sounds and tried an even more complex pattern. Soon, Dr. Morrison and the young creature were having a back-and-forth conversation of light patterns. The adult shadow maws watched this interaction closely. Their marks were now glowing a steady blue-green color, which seemed to be a happy or peaceful color. "Dr. Morrison, this is amazing," Dr. Velenok said. "You are playing with a baby shadow maw." "All young animals like to play," Dr. Morrison explained. "It is how they learn about the world. This little one is teaching me their language." After a few more minutes of light play, Dr. Morrison tried something important. He pointed his light toward the crashed ship again, but this time he also pointed toward the medical shuttle where Dr. Zethra and Dr. Velenok were waiting. He made a pattern that seemed to say, "Hurt people in ship, help people in shuttle, help, hurt people." The adult shadow maw that had been talking to him looked at the ship, then at the shuttle, then back at Dr. Morrison. Its marks pulsed in a slow, thoughtful pattern. "I think it is trying to decide if it can trust us," Dr. Morrison said. The adult shadow maw made a series of complex light patterns. Then it did something that amazed everyone. It walked slowly toward the crashed ship. "It is going to check the ship," Dr. Morrison said. "It wants to see for itself what is inside." The shadow maw approached the Aurora carefully. It walked around the ship, looking at the damage. Smoke was still coming from the broken engines, and there were scorch marks on the hull through the ship's windows. The creature could see the survivors inside. There were 12 people from different species, all looking scared and tired. Some of them were injured from the crash. The shadow maw returned to Dr. Morrison and made a new pattern with its lights. The pattern was different from before, softer and more gentle. "I think it understands now," Dr. Morrison said. "It can see that we are not dangerous. We are just hurt and scared, like it would be if its babies were trapped." Dr. Morrison stood up slowly. The shadow maw watched him but did not move away. The human took a step toward the ship. The creature's marks flashed yellow for a moment, then returned to green. "It is letting me go to the ship," Dr. Morrison said, "but it is still watching me carefully." Dr. Morrison walked slowly toward the Aurora. The other adult shadow maws watched him but did not try to stop him. When he reached the ship, he knocked on the hull. "Lisa, Pete, everyone, I'm going to try to get you out," he called. "Jake, are you sure it is safe?" Lisa asked. "The shadow maws are not going to hurt us," Dr. Morrison replied. "They were just protecting their babies. Now they understand that we need help." Dr. Morrison examined the damaged door of the ship. The crash had bent the metal, making it hard to open. He tried to pull it open, but it was stuck, the lead shadow maw. Approached the ship. Dr. Morrison stepped back, not sure what the creature wanted to do. The shadow maw looked at the damaged door, then at Dr. Morrison. It made a questioning light pattern. "I think it is asking if I need help," Dr. Morrison said. The human nodded and pointed at the stuck door. The shadow maw understood. It carefully placed its large claws around the edges of the door and pulled gently. The metal bent easily under its strength, and the door opened. "It helped me," Dr. Morrison said in amazement. "The shadow maw helped me open the door." Dr. Zethra could hardly believe what she was seeing. The most dangerous predator in the galaxy was helping with a rescue mission. "Dr. Morrison, this is incredible," she said. "You need to bring the injured survivors to our shuttle immediately." "I will," Dr. Morrison replied. "But first, I want to thank our new friends." Dr. Morrison turned to the shadow maw that had helped him. He made a pattern with his light that was slow and gentle. The creature responded with its own gentle pattern. "What did you just say to it?" Dr. Zethra asked. "I said thank you," Dr. Morrison replied. "At least, I hope that is what I said." One by one, the survivors came out of the damaged ship. They were all afraid at first, but Dr. Morrison reassured them. The shadow maws watched but did not threaten anyone. Lisa Martinez was the first to come out. She looked at the massive creatures surrounding them and shook her head in disbelief. "I never thought I would see anything like this," she said. "These creatures are supposed to be killers." "They are not killers," Dr. Morrison explained. "They are parents. They were just doing what any parent would do, protecting their children." Pete Collins came out next, followed by the other survivors. Some of them were injured and needed help walking. Dr. Morrison and the healthy survivors helped them move toward the medical shuttle. As they walked, something wonderful happened. The young shadow maws came out of the forest and began walking alongside them. They were not threatening or scary. They were curious and playful, like children everywhere. "Look at them," Lisa said. "They are just like kids. They want to see what we are doing." Dr. Zethra watched from the shuttle as the group approached. She saw Dr. Morrison walking in the middle, surrounded by both human survivors and young shadow maws. The adult creatures formed a protective circle around the entire group. "Dr. Morrison," she called through the communication device. "Are you sure it is safe to have the young ones so close?" "It is fine," Dr. Morrison replied. "The adults trust us now. They are letting their children learn about us." When the group reached the medical shuttle, Dr. Zethra and Dr. Velenok came out to help the injured survivors. They were both nervous about being so close to the shadow maws, but the creatures made no threatening moves. "Dr. Morrison, how did you know they would not attack?" Dr. Zethra asked as she treated a survivor's broken arm. "I did not know for sure," the human admitted, "but I have worked with scared animals my whole life. Fear makes all creatures act the same way. They try to protect what they love most." Dr. Velenok was using his medical scanner on another survivor. "But these are apex predators," he said. "They are supposed to be different." "That is where everyone has been wrong," Dr. Morrison explained. "Being an apex predator does not mean you are always aggressive. It means you are powerful enough to choose when to fight and when not to fight. These creatures chose not to fight because they saw we were not a real threat." As the medical team worked on the survivors, the shadow maws continued to watch. The young ones were especially interested in the medical equipment. They had never seen anything like it before. "They are learning," Dr. Morrison observed. "They are trying to understand what we are doing." "What will happen when we leave?" Dr. Zethra asked. "Will they try to stop us?" "I do not think so, Doctor." Morrison said, "We have shown them that we are not dangerous. They have shown us that they are not the monsters we thought they were." 3 weeks after the rescue on Kepler 442b, the medical station Harmony Point was busier than ever. News of Dr. Morrison's peaceful contact with the shadow maws had spread across the galaxy. Scientists, doctors, and military leaders from dozens of planets wanted to know more about what had happened. Dr. Zethra sat in her office, looking at the pile of messages on her desk. Every major medical organization in the galaxy wanted to hear about the rescue mission. The most important message was from the Galactic Medical Council on the station New Geneva. "Dr. Morrison," she called to the human who was sitting across. "From her, the Council wants you to present your findings at the next Intergalactic Medical Conference." Dr. Morrison looked up from the report he was writing. "I am just a veterinarian," he said. "I am not used to talking to big groups of important people." "What you did was important," Dr. Zethra told him. "You proved that everything we thought we knew about apex predators was wrong. The galaxy needs to hear about this." Dr. Velenok entered the office with a tablet in his tentacles. "Doctor, I have been reading the responses to our report. Many scientists do not believe what we wrote." "What do you mean?" Dr. Morrison asked. "They say it is impossible for shadow maws to be peaceful. They think we made a mistake in our report." Dr. Morrison shook his head. "I have videos of everything that happened. I have recordings of the light communication. How can they say it did not happen?" "Because it goes against everything they have been taught," Dr. Zethra explained. "For hundreds of years, everyone has believed that shadow maws are mindless killers. It is hard to change that kind of thinking." Dr. Morrison stood up and walked to the window. Outside, he could see ships from many different planets docked at the station. "Maybe I should go to this conference," he said. "Maybe I can help them understand." 2 weeks later, Dr. Morrison stood backstage at the great conference hall on New Geneva Station. The hall could hold 10,000 people, and it was completely full. Representatives from every major species in the galaxy were there to hear what he had to say. "I have never spoken to so many people before," Dr. Morrison said to Dr. Zethra, who was waiting with him. "Just tell them what happened," she said. "Tell them the truth about what you saw." Dr. Morrison walked onto the stage. The huge audience became quiet as he approached the speaking platform. He could see thousands of different alien faces looking at him. Many of them looked doubtful or curious. "Hello," Dr. Morrison began. "My name is Jake Morrison. I am a veterinarian from Earth. 3 weeks ago, I was part of a rescue mission that changed everything I thought I knew about dangerous animals." He pressed a button, and a large screen behind him showed a picture of a shadow maw. Many people in the audience made nervous sounds when they saw the image. "This is a shadow maw," Dr. Morrison continued. "According to our databases, it is one of the most dangerous predators in the galaxy. It is supposed to attack anything that comes near it, but that is not what I found." The screen changed to show video footage from the rescue mission. The audience watched as Dr. Morrison approached the shadow maw and began communicating with it using light patterns. A tall, thin alien from the planet Zarian stood up in the audience. "Dr. Morrison, this video could be fake. How do we know this really happened?" "Because I was there," Dr. Zethra said, standing up from her seat. "I saw everything with my own eyes." Dr. Morrison saved 12 lives that day by understanding something that none of us did. The video continued, showing the shadow maw helping to open the damaged door of the ship. The audience watched in amazement as the creature worked together with Dr. Morrison to rescue the survivors. "The shadow maw helped you," said a female alien from the Centauri system. "But why? What did it gain from helping?" "Nothing," Dr. Morrison replied. "It helped because it understood that we needed help. It showed compassion." An older alien from the vegan colonies raised his hand. "Dr. Morrison, shadow maws are predators?" "They do not have emotions like compassion. They only care about hunting and killing." "That is where you are wrong," Dr. Morrison said. "Every animal has emotions. Fear, love, curiosity, protective instincts. The problem is that we have never tried to understand their emotions. We have only feared them." The screen showed new footage of the young shadow maws playing with light patterns. The baby creatures looked happy and curious, not dangerous. "These are the young ones," Dr. Morrison explained. "The adults were not trying to hunt us. They were trying to protect their children. Any parent in this room would do the same thing. Murmur went through the audience. Many of the aliens present were parents themselves. They could understand the desire to protect their young. Dr. Amy Foster, a human xenobiologist, stood up. Dr. Morrison, if what you are saying is true, then we need to completely change how we approach dangerous species. We have been treating them as enemies when we should be treating them as neighbors. Exactly, Dr. Morrison said. We need to stop being afraid and start trying to understand. Commander Rex Torres from the Galactic Rescue Corps raised his hand. Dr. Morrison, my teams deal with dangerous animals all the time. We usually have to use weapons to drive them away. Are you saying we should try to talk to them instead? I'm saying you should try to understand why they are acting dangerous, Dr. Morrison replied. Are they hunting? Are they protecting their territory? Are they afraid? Once you understand the reason, you can find a peaceful solution. The screen showed more footage from the rescue mission. The audience watched as the Shadowmaws said goodbye to the rescue team with their light patterns. This is the first recorded peaceful contact with a Shadowmaw, Dr. Morrison said, but I believe it will not be the last. There are probably many other species that we have labeled as dangerous when they are just misunderstood. A small alien from the Rigel system stood up. Dr. Morrison, what you are suggesting is very dangerous. If we approach these creatures and you are wrong, people will die. People are already dying, Dr. Morrison replied. They are dying because we are afraid to try new approaches. They are dying because we would rather fight than understand. Dr. Zethra stood up from her seat. Dr. Morrison's methods saved 12 lives. If we had followed standard protocol, we would have called for military ships to attack the Shadowmaws. The creatures would have been killed, and the survivors might have been killed too. But the risk, another alien said. There is always risk, Dr. Morrison replied. But there is also reward, the reward of understanding, the reward of peace instead of violence. The audience was quiet for a long moment. Then a young alien from the Tau Ceti system raised her hand. Dr. Morrison, how do we learn these methods? How do we learn to understand dangerous animals like you do? Dr. Morrison smiled. That is a very good question. I think we need to create a new field of study. We need to combine veterinary medicine with xenobiology. We need to study animal behavior across different species. You mean create a school? Dr. Foster asked. Yes, Dr. Morrison said. A place where people can learn to understand animals instead of just fearing them? We could call it interspecies veterinary psychology, Commander Torres nodded. The Galactic Rescue Corps would be very interested in this kind of training. It could save many lives. The conference continued for 3 more hours. Dr. Morrison answered questions and showed more footage from the rescue mission. By the end, most of the audience was convinced that his methods were worth trying. After the presentation, Dr. Morrison was surrounded by scientists and officials who wanted to learn more. Dr. Zethra watched from across the room as the human patiently explained his ideas to anyone who would listen. He is going to change everything, Dr. Velenok said, joining her. I think you are right, Dr. Zethra replied. But it will take time. People do not change their minds easily. A few days later, Dr. Morrison received official approval from the Galactic Medical Council to begin developing his new training program. The council agreed to fund the first interspecies veterinary academy. Where should we build it? Dr. Morrison asked Dr. Zethra. Here on Harmony Point, she replied. This is where it all began? This is where you first showed us that understanding is better than fear. Dr. Morrison looked out at the stars through the station's large windows. Somewhere out there, on dozens of planets, dangerous creatures were being feared and killed because people did not understand them. We have a lot of work to do, he said. Yes, Dr. Zethra agreed, but we have something now that we did not have before. What is that? Hope, she said. Hope that we can find peaceful solutions to problems that seemed impossible before. Dr. Morrison nodded. The rescue mission on Kepler 442b had been just the beginning. Now the real work would start. They would have to train a new generation of scientists and rescue workers to see beyond their fear and find the truth about the creatures they encountered. It would not be easy. There would be setbacks and failures. But Dr. Morrison believed that understanding was always better than fear, and he was ready to teach the galaxy that even the most dangerous predators could be approached with respect and compassion. The first students would arrive at the academy in 6 months. Dr. Morrison spent his time preparing lessons and writing textbooks. He wanted to be ready to teach them everything he had learned about animal behavior and communication. 6 months after the conference on New Geneva, the first class of students arrived at the Interspecies Veterinary Academy on Harmony Point. Dr. Morrison stood in the main classroom, looking at the 30 beings from 15 different planets who had come to learn his methods. "Welcome to the Academy," Dr. Morrison said to the group. "You are here because you want to learn a new way of dealing with dangerous creatures. You want to learn understanding instead of fear." The students were a mix of medical officers, rescue workers, and scientists. There was Crix, a young Kithran doctor like Dr. Zethra. There was Nemo, an aquarium engineer who worked on dangerous planets. There was even a military officer named Captain Stone from Earth who wanted to learn peaceful methods. "Before we begin," Dr. Morrison continued, "I want you to forget everything you think you know about apex predators. Empty your minds of all the scary stories and dangerous reports. We are going to start fresh." Dr. Zethra entered the classroom with Dr. Velenok. She was now the co-director of the academy and helped teach the classes. "Today we will learn about fear," Dr. Zethra said. "Not the fear that creatures feel, but the fear that we feel. Fear makes us see monsters where there might be friends." The first lesson was about reading animal behavior. Dr. Morrison showed videos of different creatures from across the galaxy. The students learned to look for signs of fear, protection, curiosity, and aggression. "Look at this creature," Dr. Morrison said, showing a video of a large reptile on the planet Vega Prime. "What do you see?" "A dangerous predator," said Captain Stone. "I see sharp teeth and claws," said Nemo. "Look closer," Dr. Morrison instructed. "Look at its posture. Look at its eyes. Look at how it moves." The students watched more carefully. The creature was standing sideways instead of facing forward. Its head was turned away from the camera. Its body was tense but not aggressive. "It is afraid," said Crix suddenly. "It wants to run away." "Exactly," Dr. Morrison smiled. "This creature is more afraid of the camera than the camera operator is." Afraid of it. The lessons continued for weeks. The students learned about territorial behavior, protective instincts, and communication methods. They practiced reading body language and understanding the reasons behind animal actions. "Remember," Dr. Morrison told them, "every creature has a reason for what it does. Your job is to find that reason." The first real test came 2 months into the program. A distress call arrived from the mining planet Zarian 7, a pack of crystal. Wolves had surrounded a mining facility and would not let the workers leave. "This is perfect," Dr. Morrison said. 3 of our students will go on this mission to practice what they have learned." He chose Crix, Nemo, and Captain Stone. Dr. Zethra would go with them as their supervisor. "Remember your training, Doctor," Morrison told them as they prepared to leave. "Do not assume the wolves are attacking. Find out why they are there." The team flew to Zarian 7 in a small shuttle. The mining facility was built in a valley between 2 mountains. The crystal wolves were large, white creatures with fur that sparkled like diamonds. They had surrounded the main building but were not trying to break in. "How many workers are trapped inside?" Dr. Zethra asked the facility manager over the communication system. 50 workers, the manager replied. "The wolves appeared 3 days ago and have not left. We are running out of food and water." Crix studied the wolves through binoculars. "They are not acting aggressive," she observed. "They are just sitting and watching." "Look at their formation," Nemo added. "They are not surrounding the building to attack it. They are facing outward toward the mountains." Captain Stone nodded. It looks like they are guarding the building, not threatening it. But why would they guard a mining facility? Dr. Zethra asked. The team left their shuttle and approached the wolves carefully. The students remembered their training and made themselves look non-threatening. They walked slowly and kept their hands visible. The lead Volf, a large female with bright blue eyes, watched them approach. She did not growl or show her teeth. Instead, she made a soft whining sound. "She is trying to communicate," Crick said. "She wants to tell us something." Captain Stone noticed something strange. "Look at the ground around the building. It is wet and muddy, but the rest of the area is dry." Nemo knelt down and touched the wet ground. "This is not water," he said. "It is some kind of chemical. It smells like the mining equipment." Dr. Zethra understood immediately. The mining operation is leaking chemicals into the ground. The wolves are not threatening the workers. They are trying to warn them. But why do they care about human workers? Captain Stone asked. Crix pointed toward a small cave in the mountainside. "Look there, I can see movement in that cave." Through their binoculars, they could see small crystal Volf pups playing near the cave entrance. The cave was directly downhill from the mining facility. The chemical leak is flowing toward their den, Nemo realized. The wolves are trying to protect their babies. Dr. Zethra contacted the facility manager. "You have a chemical leak that is threatening the local wildlife. The wolves are not attacking you. They are trying to get your attention." "That is impossible," the manager replied. "Our systems show no leaks. Your systems are wrong," Captain Stone said. "We can see the evidence on the ground." The team worked with the wolves to locate the source of the leak. The lead female Volf led them to a broken pipe that was buried under the building. The pipe had been leaking for days, but the facility's sensors had not detected it. "If this leak had continued, it would have poisoned the groundwater for miles," Dr. Zethra said. "The wolves saved not just their own babies, but probably thousands of other creatures." The mining crew fixed the leak and cleaned up the chemical spill. Once the danger was gone, the crystal wolves returned to their den in the mountains. Before they left, the lead female approached Captain Stone and touched his hand with her nose. "She is saying thank you," Crick said with wonder. "No," Captain Stone replied. "We should be thanking her. She saved us from a disaster." News of the successful mission spread quickly through the galaxy. The Crystal Volf incident became the first official success of the Morrison Protocol. More organizations began requesting training for their teams. Dr. Morrison expanded the academy to include field training on different planets. Students learned to work with creatures in their natural environments. They practiced communication methods and studied animal behavior in real situations. "Each species is different," Dr. Morrison taught, "but the basic principles are the same. Respect, understanding, and patience will work with any creature." The Academy's reputation grew. Dr. Morrison received messages from across the galaxy asking for help with dangerous animal situations. His students were sent to dozens of planets to resolve conflicts between people and wildlife. On the gas giant Europa station, students helped negotiate with cloud rays that were interfering with shipping lanes. They discovered that the rays were not attacking ships, but were trying to protect their migration route. On the desert planet Sahara Prime, students worked with sand dragons that were threatening a research outpost. They learned that the dragons were territorial creatures who just wanted the humans to stay away from their nesting grounds. Each success made Dr. Morrison's methods more respected throughout the galaxy. The Galactic Medical Corps officially adopted the Morrison Protocol for all dangerous animal encounters. "You have done something amazing," Dr. Zethra told Dr. Morrison one day as they watched a new group of students practice communication techniques. "We have done something amazing," Dr. Morrison corrected her. "This was never just about me. It was about changing how we think about other creatures." Dr. Morrison received many honors for his work. The Galactic Council gave him the Medal of Interspecies Understanding. The Medical Corps named him Director of Xenobiological Relations. But the honor that meant the most to him was simpler. "Dr. Morrison, said a young student from the Rigel system. I used to be afraid of all the dangerous creatures in the galaxy. Now I understand that they are just trying to live their lives, like we are. That is the most important lesson, Dr. Morrison replied. Fear makes us see monsters. Understanding helps us see neighbors. The academy continued to grow. New campuses opened on different planets. The Morrison Protocol was taught in schools across the galaxy. Children learned to approach unknown creatures with curiosity. Instead of fear, Dr. Morrison often thought about the shadow maws on Kepler 442b. They had been the first creatures to teach him that even the most dangerous predators could be peaceful. He wondered if they were still protecting their young in that forest clearing. Dr. Morrison, Dr. Velenok said one day, I have a message from Kepler 442b. A research team wants to study the shadow maws. They want to learn more about their communication methods. That is wonderful, Dr. Morrison said, but they must be careful. The shadow maws have babies to protect. They know, Dr. Velenok replied. They are using your methods? They want to communicate with the creatures, not just study them. Dr. Morrison smiled. The galaxy was changing. People were learning that understanding was better than fear. Dangerous. Creatures were being seen as complex beings with their own needs and feelings. What is our next mission? Dr. Morrison asked. There is a situation on the ice planet Hoth, Dr. Zethra said. Ice bears are blocking a supply route.